Welcome back for another video. My name is Josh Kasich, and today is my Spice and Wolf review. Now, this is a very interesting anime because it's not a typical anime I would watch. It's not a comedy and it's not action oriented. It's very serious. It's sad, kind of realistic, and it takes place. You get to really see what was life like way back when there's not a lot of technology. There's carriages, horse riding. I mean, there's still horse riding, but carriages with horses and lamps with fire. And then there's not a lot of big giant businesses, just a lot of trades and stuff like that. And so you really get to see that life. So you have the main character named Lawrence, and he's a trader who he's part of a trading guild, and he makes trades for a living, stuff like that. One day he visits this village to make trades, and this particular village, they have an interesting story. See, centuries ago, a wolf named Hollow came from her home from the north and was just traveling and discovered this village, and they have very bad harvests and stuff like that, and so she promised them that she would help them with their wheat growing and their harvest and stuff, because that's what they grow. And so she started living within the wheat and making them grow and stuff like that. But then, and they treated her like a god. But over centuries, people started to forget about her, didn't treat her like a god anymore, and they totally wanted to get rid of their traditions with her and everything like that. But he particularly showed up on day to Lawrence showed up on that day when they were doing one of their traditions, is where they pull up all the wheat, and then there's one last wheat where a random person, I don't know if it's random, I forget how they picked, but it happened to be the girl that used to be his assistant, and unfortunately she became a bad guy, but she was the one who picked the wheat. And then when they pick the wheat, they have to go to a certain building and stay there for a week. Well, it happened, and that one wheat is where Hollow is, and that's kind of where they're saying, oh, Hollow is in this one wheat, and that's kind of their whole thing. But what happens is that Lawrence, actually, when he shows up, he actually had wheat in his carriage. So she actually escaped that one last wheat and went into the wheat into her wheat in his carriage. And then after doing his trades, he leaves, and at some point during the night, he discovers a girl in his carriage, because she took a form of a human, although she still has ears and a tail. But since she has she doesn't have like human customs, and she just came from the wheat, she doesn't have any clothes on. So if you don't want to see a girl without clothes on, or you're bothered by that, then you're probably not going to like this show. I mean, especially because it's, like I said, it's a little bit on the boring side. You might not enjoy it either, but it's very baby doll, so no really any details or anything like that. I mean, you do see her behind, but then lots of times the tail and stuff is covering that. So, but it's like I said, it's not really graphic or anything like that. But she eventually does. She starts wearing some extra clothes that Lawrence has. But eventually those do get ripped, but Lawrence buys her more clothes anyway, so it's not like a huge deal, but just do keep that in mind. Now, and essentially what the show is, she asks him to help her get back to her home in the north, and so that's kind of, they go on a journey together, living life, trying to make trades, get money to survive, and not when sometimes those trades don't go so well, and they lose a lot of money especially when certain businesses within the trade close down, and they owe a huge debt, and they have to get all the money back somehow, and sometimes they even have to be kind of how I say, a little bit scummy, because they basically trick people into give them more money than they probably should get, and stuff like that. So there's a lot of that you have to keep in mind. Just that's kind of the sense of what it is. And they also, like I said, the first season, well, I wouldn't say the first season, but I said his assistant, I think her name was Chloe. She was kind of a bad guy because she was working with a trading organization that works within the village, and they want to get rid of Hollow and stuff like that. And when they discover she was real, they want to destroy her. And she really wanted to. She really kind of had feelings for Lawrence and wanted to make his goal is to eventually open up a shop that he really wanted to do, and she wanted to open it up with her. But when he decided to stay with Hollow, she had her men try to murder them. But then Hollow turned into her giant wolf form because she could become like a big giant wolf, and that's why her clothes ripped. And attacked them. Although Chloe didn't die, but she got really injured, and we do get to see her at the end of the season, just like kind of in the end credits or whatever. So it's not like anything like that. But she didn't appear in the second season. She's not even in the manga. She's a anime only character. So, but yeah. So essentially, like I said, that's pretty much the plot. And it's a romance. Obviously, they eventually after living life for these long time doing trades, they eventually start to have feelings for each other and stuff like that. Although Lawrence is the only one that actually admits his love to her kind of at the end of the series, but because the show didn't get a proper ending. In fact, it actually got canceled as the manga is still going on. So it's unfortunate because the show didn't get a proper ending. And even if Lawrence kind of admitted his love for her, it's not the same way as just I admit that I love you type thing. Like, not the ending type, oh, I love you type confession that you would want and she didn't say anything either necessarily, and it just kind of, they go off and continue their journey type thing. And it's just kind of sad because you don't want it to end like this, because like for me, I already knew that there's more to the manga and stuff like that. So it's really sad to me that this did not get a proper ending. It was back in 2009, so unfortunately the third season is just not going to happen. Well, I take that back, because Bleach's final season is coming out this year, and that show was canceled in 2012. So it's like, but so I think is that about. But this I think this is definitely a bigger time gap. And I'm hoping that they would reboot the series and actually give it a proper ending. That I hope so. I wish, but if it's not in the money making, if it's not into money making, the company is not who made Spice and Wolf is not going to do that. But it's unfortunate, but that's just my thing. And so, like I said, that's pretty much everything. I do like the characters. I mean, Hollow is kind of very sassy. She considers, I'm Hollow the Wise Wolf. So she's very, very sassy. If you don't like characters that are very sassy, you might not like her character, but I don't know. I just like the dynamic between him, being with her and Lawrence, because I don't know. She's the sassy one. He's not. He's more not kind of the opposite, I would say. And I don't know. I just like their dynamic, and the writing is really good. If you want a show that has really good writing, definitely I recommend this show, because it is really recommended. But if you don't want to watch that shows that's slightly kind of boring, because it's more focuses on life and kind of the writing of the story and the trades and stuff like that, you might not like it. But that's just my overall thoughts on it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like. If you're new, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified from the next upload. My YouTube channel website link, my Twitter, my Snapchat, and Instagram are all in the description as always. And thank you. Goodbye.